Hello, Ghosties. I'm Chance Lee,
And I'm Amanda McAvoy.
and this is That's So Gothic, a movie podcast about dreamers, deceivers, dungeons, and the damned. And Amanda, I'm here to welcome you to Jurassic Shark.
Tell me, Mr. Franklin, have you ever known anyone with Alzheimer's?
No.
What if you could end all that suffering with a single pill? Give me till Monday morning, 48 hours. I'll give you results that'll skyrocket your stock price.
In the most advanced research facility in the world.
Wow.
Beneath its glassy surface, a world of gliding monsters.
A team of specialists is working against the clock
Did someone order the fish?
on an experiment to benefit mankind.
Sharks never show any loss of brain activity as they age.
We're this close to the reactivation of a human brain cell.
But before they can save millions of lives,
Tell me I didn't see that. They recognize that gun.
It's impossible. Sharks do not swim backwards. They can't.
they'll have to find a way to save their own.
Just what the hell did you do to those sharks?
Did you feel something?
Jim and I use gene therapies to increase their brain mass.
What is that?
As a side effect, the sharks got smarter.
Somebody, please, tell me what that is. Go! Go!
Released in 1999, Deep Blue Sea was directed by Renny Harlin. It was written by Duncan Kennedy and probably like a dozen other people. It stars Thomas Jane as Carter Blake, a shark wrangler, Saffron Burrows as Dr. Susan McAllister, a mad scientist, LL Cool J as Preacher, a Christian chef with a parrot, Michael Rapaport as Skoggs, some guy, Samuel L. Jackson as Franklin, a business executive, and Stellan Skarsgård as Whitlock, a giant piece of human shark bait.
Basically, yeah.
And this is the story of genetically engineered super smart sharks gone wild.
Yeah.
1999 included movies like The Matrix, Sixth Sense, American Pie. Like, what a incredible year of movies was 1999.
Truly. I feel like you could do like a whole like documentary on what was in the air in 1999.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, that makes sense why I hadn't seen this movie before, because there was just so much else going on at the time.
Yeah.
But a lot of people did see it. This movie cost about 80 million to make, and it raked in double that at the box office, 160 million. The tomato meter was very unexpected to me.
Oh,
60% critical tomato and 40% audience tomato.
what?
What?
What? Speechless.
I was shocked. I thought the critics were going to be much lower,
Yes.
especially
I thought
lower
that,
than the audience.
yes, definitely. And I mean, I don't know what do they take into account for audience rating? Is it like of
I
the
think you
time?
I think it's anything. That's what's really
Okay.
confusing, especially with older movies like
hmm
probably came out even before Rotten Tomatoes. Um
Right.
they can only use the articles that still exist online, but I think
Okay.
anybody can go and you click a rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and I
Oh,
think
okay.
that's what they use.
Okay. Because I thought that this movie really had, and I mean, I think it still does, like a real cult following. Um, this is one of my friends' like favorite movie of all time. And she's not like she loves horror movies, but she wouldn't consider herself, I don't believe, like a cinephile. She's not watching weird movies like us. Like, she's kind of
Has
like,
she seen Frankenhooker?
ooh, I don't know. I actually do kind of think she might like that though. But yeah, it's like one of her favorite movies of all time. I was so shocked to hear that. And yeah, I thought it really had like this like cult following.
Yeah, I was surprised, especially since I feel like if you're gonna watch this movie today, it's probably
Hmm.
because you're interested and will like it. And I feel like that's another thing that
Hmm.
ticks the audience score higher is that you're just more likely to watch it. Like a lot of times, if you go to a bad movies Amazon page, it'll
Yeah,
have like 4.5 stars because the people who are paying to rent it are the ones who are already fans. So
exactly.
yeah, I was shocked.
Yeah,
But
interesting.
Roger Ebert gave it 3 out of 4 stars.
As he
Another
should.
shocker.
King.
He said that this movie is a skillful thriller directed by Renny Harlin, who assembles a neat package of terror, sharks, and special effects. That isn't as easy as it sounds. After slogging through the predictability of countless would be action thrillers, I admired the sheer professionalism of this one, which doesn't transcend the genre, but at least honors it. And in
Mm,
a genre where a lot of movies are retreads of the predictable, Deep Blue Sea keeps you guessing.
I fully agree with that review. I think this movie is very unpredictable. I mean, there are characters who are, you know, getting eaten and killed off that you do not expect. Um, I'm a little bit mad because we'll get into it, but there is one part that is like very unexpected, shocking just in the timing of it, and I had that spoiled for me, so I knew it was coming. If I hadn't, I think I would have genuinely like gasped. But
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of moments in this movie where you really think someone's like gonna pull through, who's gonna get out of it, and they don't. And it's really tense.
It's really good in the
Mhm.
unpredictability of it. I was never quite sure who the main character even was, which also
Yeah.
helps the order that the characters get bumped off in is unexpected because they're not
Hmm.
getting bumped off like they normally are, which is like least famous to most famous.
Yes. Yes.
Like they're not getting killed in that order.
Mhm.
And sometimes it is just very sudden,
Yeah.
which is very thrilling.
Yeah. I think that was also, yeah, a good point. You never really know who is the main character, who is sort of going to be your final person. You usually have a general sense of that at the beginning of movies like this, and you do not with this.
No, I was so happy to see this. So I had never seen it before.
Hmm.
Um, but I think did you get this in like a movie blind bag?
Yeah, so my sister-in-law for Christmas, and so far this is the only one I've opened. Um, I might
Oh,
I might open up another one tonight. Basically, this local chain of stores, Bull Moose, they sell like media. They sold for Christmas like a 12 Days of Horror, and they wrapped up 12 movies. And this was night one was Deep Blue Sea. And so when I opened it, she told me she was going to watch the movies with me. She has not.
rude.
But um, I was like so excited because it's one of those movies that, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily seek out, but I'm so happy I watched it.
When you got it, I was like, "Oh, I've never seen this movie."
Hmm.
I used to hear about it a lot, mostly under the context of the scene I believe you're talking about as
Hmm.
one of the most shocking scenes in movies.
Yes.
And so I knew about that going into it. So I checked out the Blu-ray. I watched it after you and I went to go see The Housemaid, which
Mm.
is cuckoo bananas to the best degree. And what a great dessert for The
Yes.
Housemaid, because this movie might be just as crazy, if not more.
Yes.
but in different ways. And so I then had to go out and purchase the Arrow Video 4K set, which
Wow.
is one of the nicest sets that I have of theirs. They went above and beyond with this set.
Yes.
It
I didn't know
is
that existed.
beautiful. Um, it has the disc, of course, with the reversible artwork. It has a poster. It has some other goodies, and it has this like very thick, perfect bound book that I love a book of essays in the movies, even though a lot of times the essays are kind of bad.
Mhm.
Bangers, full
Yeah.
of bangers about the movie, full of production storyboards.
Whoa.
Um, and one of the wildest things is they have these concept sketches
Mhm.
for potential tie-in toys
Stop it.
that they were using to sell this movie, saying like, look at the merchandising we could do. It was all part of the pitch to sell this movie to the studio.
I'm aghast in the best possible way.
When they have the next 50% off sale, you must
I think I have to grab that.
get it.
That is so
Highly
cool.
worth it. And it has 3 commentary tracks on it. One of them is an archival track that was on the DVD
Mhm.
with Renny Harlin and Samuel L. Jackson. They are not in the same room together. It took me a while to realize that. And once
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson's character is no longer in the movie, he goes, "All right, guys, I'm done. Enjoy the rest of the movie." And his commentary is over.
Incredible. Incredible.
It's so funny. And then they've got a commentary with the original screenwriter, Duncan Kennedy,
Mm.
which is one of the best commentaries I've listened to because he talks about the script he turned in versus what was filmed. And it's
Mm.
almost night and day, the changes that were
Really?
made throughout the process. And he kind of walks you through everything. And I love it because also he understands how Hollywood works and he doesn't care.
Right.
It's not like a precious thing to him, which was great. And then there's another commentary by a filmmaker and critic who I won't name because I thought it was really boring. I don't
Really?
normally turn a commentary off, but they mostly were just saying what was happening on the screen. And I was like, I
Mm.
can see it.
Yeah, right, right. Interesting. Oh, very exciting.
One of the things I learned from the writer's commentary is that in the finished product, the scientists are working on a cure for Alzheimer's. And in the original script, it was cure for cancer, a little more basic. But
Okay.
it was intended to be a visual gag when they're looking for a cure for cancer and Stellan Skarsgård is smoking and the shark bites his arm off, cigarette and all. That was
Yes,
supposed to be like an added layer to that.
that would have been very funny.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting. I wonder why they changed it to Alzheimer's.
He might have mentioned, but I don't remember.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Interesting.
Well, let's run down the very long cast list of this
Hmm.
movie. And I'll try to go from maybe who we might have the least to say to who we might have the most to say about.
Yes.
So, unfortunately, I have to start with the lead, Saffron Burrows. Um,
Yeah. She's one of the most beautiful women in the world, I will say, but
she's
not a
very
lot else.
pretty.
Yep.
She's very, looking at her Wikipedia page, she seems to be a very solid C tier actress.
Okay.
She's been in things, nothing that I've ever seen. She
Okay.
is allegedly bisexual and was once in a relationship with Fiona Shaw, who is Petunia
Oh,
Dursley from the Harry Potter movies.
yes.
Beloved actress of mine. So there you go.
Interesting. Good
So
for
next
her.
we have Thomas Jane, who
Uh-huh.
is Carter Blake. He is so hot to me in this movie.
Yeah.
Incredibly hot and wet and just like delightful to look at.
Yes.
He also is kind of like B tier, I feel like.
Mm.
He was the Punisher in an early like Marvel version of the Punisher
Oh, okay.
in the early 2000s. He's in Boogie Nights.
Mm.
Um, and he was the lead on an HBO show called Hung about a Detroit
Oh,
basketball coach who resorts to prostitution.
right. I kind of remember. I feel like Thomas Jane is like a name that I've heard a lot, but could not tell you where or why or when.
He was married to Patricia Arquette for a while.
Oh,
Um,
the
I
media.
I don't want to disparage him. Allegedly, maybe might have treated her poorly.
Okay.
That's the vibe in my back of my brain, but could also just be
Mm,
tabloid trash.
okay.
Michael Rapaport, I feel like he's this to me this quintessential '90s that guy. Like I feel like he was in
Yes.
everything in the '90s.
Yeah. Yeah. He, do you know about like Michael Rapaport's like current cultural significance?
I just know from what I looked at, it's messy. If you want to
Yes.
untangle that.
I mean, I can't and I won't try to, but from what I understand, like I really enjoyed he had some really funny like short form videos on the internet, like, very stereotypical New York City kind of guy. I feel like he kind of got really popular with the younger generation because of them. But recently he's come under a lot of heat because he was strongly against Mamdani for mayor of New York and said
Okay.
some pretty bad things.
Oh
So
dear.
that's what I will say about him. I think that he genuinely is very funny, unfortunately, but I think he's also probably not a great person. But he's got some bangers in this movie.
I feel like, yeah, he's a loudmouth in real life. That probably has gotten
Yes.
him into trouble many times.
Hmm.
And that makes sense because the one note I made about him is that he announced that he will run for mayor of New York in 2029.
Ah, yes, yeah, yeah. I think he's strongly against Zohran Mamdani and is like very upset. I don't know if he was like a who was the other mayor? Uh the incumbent. Um God, what is his name? We're proud Massachusetts assholes. I can't remember his name.
No.
Um, I don't think he was like an kisser of him either. So I don't know. But yeah, he's very. I feel like I saw him in a lot of like 2000s sitcoms. Like I feel like he was always on the sitcoms my dad watched.
Okay. That sounds like the vibe. Yeah.
Yes, like that's his vibe, and it's like I feel like he was on like King of Queens or something.
Oh, he
Um,
had to have been, especially because that's New
yes.
York. He's a New Yorker.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he was like on that. I think he was on a couple of those other like I Hate My Wife sitcoms. Um, as I
Right.
lovingly refer to them.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but he's very funny in this movie. He has like a very surprising emotional arc in this movie.
He has a very sweet bromance with the Thomas Jane character.
Yes. Yeah, and it kind of just comes in like the last like third of the movie. It's very kind of
Hmm.
odd, but it's very funny, very charming.
My understanding is that in editing and after test screenings, a lot of the movie was cut and chopped and changed. And
Mm,
so that's why I think some of the emotional arcs are inconsistent at best. And yeah, because all of a sudden it feels like a romance between him and Thomas Jane. I think because
yes,
there's no
yeah,
other emotional connection to anyone else in the movie. They're all just shark
right.
bait.
Right. And like, spoiler alert, Michael Rapaport dies. And it's like, first of all, I had to rewind in that scene. I didn't even know that he died. Like it's very, again, like sudden and unexpected. Um, but it was kind of odd because it's like he dies and it's this huge, like sad emotional thing between Michael Jane and LL Cool J. And it's kind of like, why? But it's not what we're here for, is the relationships.
The emotional beat of Deep Blue Sea. That brings us to LL Cool J, who plays Preacher,
Hmm.
um, who is a chef with a talking
Hmm.
parrot. And I must admit, I don't know too much about Ladies Love Cool James, Mr. Ladies
Yeah.
Love Cool James, but he did write and perform the closing song of the film,
Wow.
which is titled Deepest Bluest, parentheses, Shark's Fin. And
Incredible.
it's true poetry. I just want to read part of it,
Hmm.
which is long. So I apologize in advance. I'm not going to read the whole song as much as I want to, but I will read the lyrics because it is pure
Hmm.
poetry. Deepest bluest, my hat is like a shark's fin. Deepest bluest, my hat is like a shark's fin. Man made terror, hungry jaws of death. Y'all don't cross my depths. I'll pause your breaths. I cause you to sink down 40,000 leagues, bleeding to death with no arms and short sleeves. My world's deep blue. Killers gotta eat too. Looking for human flesh to rip my teeth through. Other fish in the sea, but barracudas ain't equal to a half human predator created by a needle. Jet black eyes, baby, they stare while you sleep. When your Titanic sinks, I'm the one you gon' meet. Hearing terrified screams, they surround my team. All you see is trails of blood. Even God won't intervene. Nightmares of darkness, my appetite is heartless. Even if we related, you eliminated. Regardless, in the deep blue, underwater walls, half man, half shark, my jaws don't fall.
Incredible poetry.
That's just the first verse.
Shakespeare wishes.
I want to like send that into a poetry contest, like fully, and just see if I get caught for plagiarism. Like I just want to send that in.
So beautiful and profound.
The have you ever been to genius.com?
Yeah, yeah.
The annotation for this
Hmm.
song lives up to the name of genius.com. Someone wrote, "This song is from the film Deep Blue Sea. The
Hmm.
lines deepest, bluest are referencing the title of the film, also the ocean, which is deep and generally considered by scientists to be blue. The ocean is also home to sharks, creatures that served as inspiration for LL Cool J's hat. The shark's fin is considered by sharkologists to be the hat of the shark." Whoever wrote that, props to you. Unsung hero of the interwebs.
Oh, so good.
That was great.
Wow. Yeah, really beautiful.
Very beautiful. And just to I guess maybe pay homage to the rapid tonal shifts of the movie. Do you want to
Hmm.
hear something really dark?
Yeah, I guess.
So it's the writer of the movie, and I don't know if I wish I could have more context. I don't know if he even wrote the parrot. If the I think the parrot was not in his
Mm.
script. I think the
Okay.
parrot was added, but he speculates that so the parrot says things that out of context are funny, like fat
Yes.
ass, all this stuff.
Right.
Um, he speculates that there's a scene in which Preacher speaks into a camera and apologizes for the poor way that he used to treat his wife and his family, that the reason the
Uh-huh.
parrot speaks that way is because that is the way he spoke to his wife and his child, and that is how the parrot learned those things.
Oh my God, it makes so much sense.
It kind of makes sense.
Because it is very weird that the parrot would call him fat ass because he's not particularly rotund.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I was like, wow, Deep Blue Sea has layers,
That's
layers.
so intelligent and profound.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh my God, that's wild. It like sucks because Preacher is one of my favorite movie characters of all time. Love
Well,
him.
he's redeemed
That's
though.
true.
He's redeemed
He's
himself.
yes. He's
Because
redeemed himself.
if the Christianity preached in like chick tracts, those little comics that
Mm,
people used to leave under my windshield wipers when I lived in the South will tell you
yes.
anything, it's that you could be a fucking serial murderer. And as
Yeah.
long as you are
Repent.
saved on death
Yep.
row, you will go to the pearly gates.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Um, oh my goodness. That is dark, but you know what? LL Cool J is putting his whole heart and soul into this movie, so
Yes, and he is very entertaining in it.
he's so good. He's so good. And I really do genuinely like the character. I like watching him. He's very um what's the word I'm looking for? Like smart and crafty in his survival skills.
Hmm.
Um I mean, I don't know that I've watched a character who is just like so intent on living. Like
Yeah.
there were so many circumstances that he was in that I was like, I would just give up. And so, I
Yep.
mean, I guess, that is something to say about the character too, is, he's fighting for his life and potentially doing it because he wants to make good with his family.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, he's such a fun character. And he's like, it really is a testament to LL Cool J because he's alone for like the first half of the movie. So bizarre. I don't think I've ever seen a movie like with that setup where it's sort of like a full beginning half of the movie, like half of that half is focused on what you assume is a B character
Hmm.
and what he's going through. It's really kind of a bizarre setup. Um, but he commands a scene by himself. Well, and with a parrot and a shark usually.
Yes. Yeah, I think it adds to the unpredictability of the movie because he should
Mm,
be one of the more expendable characters.
right. Yeah. I mean, I definitely thought he was, Dunzo like
Hmm.
in the sort of first shark encounter he has, because I think he has like two or three when he's alone.
A
Ends up
lot.
managing to kill one, like completely obliterate it.
Hmm.
Um, it's really kind of incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, love LL.
Like the ladies love him,
Ladies
so I
love him.
hear.
I think he like his thing now is like he's like an NCIS guy, right? Or he's on one of those shows. I think
That's
he
right.
is. I think he's one of those guys. Um,
If he's not on there currently, he was on one for at least like 15 years.
yeah, exactly. We
Hmm.
we should tune in.
I would watch one.
I would watch one for LL.
So we also have Samuel L. Jackson.
Hmm.
I don't think we've talked about him on the podcast before. Man who's been in many, many, many films.
Hmm.
He is in another Renny Harlin film. He's in Long Kiss Goodnight with Gina Davis, um,
Mm.
which was made before this. So Renny Harlin brought him back for this one. And I think he was originally supposed to play the role of Preacher, but took
Oh,
this
really?
role instead. I might be
Okay.
wrong. Um, but yeah, so he is the star of the shocking scene that I used to see a
Yes.
lot on lists of most shocking scenes in films.
Hmm.
Do you want to tell us what
Yes.
happens?
So basically, he is a like you said earlier, businessman. He's kind of like I'm trying to think of like the word. Like he's like an executive. He has a very strange backstory that's alluded to sort of throughout the movie,
Yes.
which is like really kind of funny. Um, it's like alluded that he's like famous for something, like for surviving a situation, and then you get more context, and it was some sort of, I think he was in like an avalanche or something. He's I think he's kind of known for being an extreme sportsman. Like I think that's kind of a vibe I get from him. You know who he kind of reminds me of? Like he's like a Richard Branson type. Um,
Yes.
yeah, like he's kind of known for like he's like rich and executive and whatever, but he's also kind of known for like being like easy and blah, blah, and like doing all these crazy things. So, anyways, so it's kind of alluded to, but you don't really know what has happened um with this thing that has sort of made him extremely famous. Um and we're kind of like getting not down to the wire in the movie. I think it's about halfway through,
Hmm.
maybe three quarters. Um, but a couple of people have already died. The whole gang, I think the whole gang is together. Is Samuel L. Jackson? No, is LL Cool J there?
I
I
don't
can't.
think so.
I don't even
I
think
think
he's
he's
shown up
still
yet.
separated. Yeah.
He's separated. So, anyways, but most of the gang is there. They've gotten into a couple of arguments, and basically now they're really arguing about whether or not to like open an airlock or something. Um, so Samuel L. Jackson, being the strong, empowering man that he is, starts giving this really impassioned speech about how important it is to stick together as a team because when he, but like also stick together as a team, but also that he is willing to do anything it takes to survive because he reveals that he was in this avalanche and got trapped with like six people, or I don't remember exactly the number, but only four people left. But it wasn't because of the avalanche. It was because they hit him or
Yes.
something. So like
Yes.
this whole thing that's been alluded to, we finally get the answer, and then as he's like at crescendo, a shark jumps out of this pool that he's standing in front of and just slumps him, takes him away.
Gone.
Incredible filmmaking.
I like I said, I knew about the scene. No
Yes.
one, if they mentioned it, it never stuck with me that
Mm,
yeah, it happens after a monologue in which he confesses to cannibalism. like like that just elevates it even more. I was just like, "Oh my God." It keeps getting more insane. Like, oh, it was wild. Even though I knew it was coming, it was still
yes,
ridiculously entertaining because of
right.
that.
Same. Like I again knew about it and I think I was kind of in the same boat as you, except I didn't know it was coming during like an impassioned speech. I don't think I knew what it was about, or at least I didn't have the context for it. Um, so yeah, and then also as I was talking about it, at the beginning of the before the episode, I was talking to you about how I've been really into watching videos of like hiking disasters, and now I think I know why. I don't even think I realized, but the it
Mm.
subliminally has seeped into my mind that I'm trying to get into the psyche of Samuel L. Jackson.
Mhm.
It's
Survival.
yeah, it's wild though.
Did you notice that Samuel L. Jackson is wearing prosthetic ears?
No.
It's pointed out in one of the commentaries. I did not notice until someone pointed it out. He is wearing prosthetic ears to make it look like he lost parts of his ears to frostbite in that avalanche. They look like they've had little nibbles taken out of them. Yeah.
The detail in this movie.
I know, and they never, it's not like they zoom in on them or
No.
anything. He just has them on. And once they notice, you kind of notice his ears look a little lumpy and like maybe a little differently colored than the
Yeah.
rest of his head. But like I never noticed until someone
No.
pointed it out. And then it was all I could see.
It's wild. What a smart movie.
I know. Really, yes, just like the sharks, super intelligent.
Yes. This movie is too smart for us mere humans.
It really is. I think
Yeah,
when you have 17 writers, they're gonna come up with ideas that are just too
of
smart for
course.
us.
Yes.
Um, I so last but not least is Stellan Skarsgård,
Yes.
who I feel like if we were ranking everyone on the cast, like Samuel L. Jackson is on a different level, but out of the rest of them, to me, he's like most famous and prestige,
Yes, definitely.
and gets the least amount of screen. I was not expecting him to be first one chomped.
Not only first one chomped, but in such a brutal way. And he comes like it's brutal he gets chomped. It's brutal how he sort of actually ends up in the shark's maw. And it's also brutal as he comes back briefly as a battering ram.
And he's still alive.
He's still alive. He's got his Dune respirator on.
Oh my God, you're right.
Looks like his Dune character. And he gets thrown at glass. And this was, I think, the scene where, so to break it down for anyone who hasn't seen it, even though you should go watch it, like right now, his arm gets chomped. They immediately call for emergency help, which, to be fair, or I guess that's not the phrasing I want to use, but I was confused why it was such an emergency because, like, I guess I thought you could just like tourniquet an arm and like be semi okay, but they were like,
Mhm.
no, he's dying. Maybe because it was like so brutal and whatever. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but they were like freaking out. They were like, oh my God, his arm is gone. A shark has ripped it off. Yada yada yada. And so there's a huge storm. So the helicopter is called to come get him. They put him on a stretcher. As the helicopter is taking off with him in the stretcher, it gets stuck. So he's dangling, and a shark comes, jumps, grabs him, uses him as a fishing line to bring the helicopter into the building. That one of another character who you've become emotionally attached to is there, and she gets blown up and
She
dies.
just blows up.
She just blows up. She's gone. Um, and he is now being thrashed around in the water and then is used to be propelled at glass so that the sharks can get into this tank, this laboratory. It's absolutely wild. It's I think that was really like the moment where I was like, "Oh, I'm not in for a regular movie. Like I'm not this is not Jurassic Park. This is something entirely different."
My mouth was hanging wide open when they chomp Stellan Skarsgård like he's a worm at the end of a fishing line, and like, and like I use him as a weapon. Like I was like, what the fuck? This is the most. What though? What is genius about this movie is that none of what we just said makes sense, but
Yes.
as you're watching it, it is crystal clear and
Yes.
like very easy to follow what's happening. Like they
Yes.
make it seem real. I don't know. It's brilliant.
Yes. And we can like joke and laugh about it away from the fact, but like when I was watching the movie, I was so tense. Like I was like my muscles were contracted, like my toes were curled. I was so stressed. Um yeah, it's and it really it's just like it's very well done. Like you said, it's crystal clear. But when he got thrown at the glass, I was flabbergasted.
Yes, I was not expecting that for the sharks, which we've learned by this point are like, I don't know, actively malicious and intelligent to
Yes.
almost taunt their victims with it.
Yes. Yeah. Wild. And Stellan Skarsgård, the man who is he? Because we were joking because we usually do our Oscar episode, so we were joking that this is going to be our Oscar episode because Stellan Skarsgård is, is he? I don't know if he got a Best Actor nomination. He might have for Sentimental Value.
Either actor supporting, I forget which
Yeah,
one.
but I just saw him in this beautiful, touching movie where he's just like this it's very jarring the difference of seeing Stellan Skarsgård being uh brought to this.
He's literal Oscar bait. Like he's
He's
literal
yeah,
bait.
he's stupid.
He's literal bait.
Oh my goodness. Also, this movie, I don't think I ever really gave it a lot of thought how the Skarsgård were related. Um, I had a real moment where I was like, wait, is he the brother of all of the Skarsgårds? I didn't realize he was the dad and he had Bill, Alexander. I'm missing another third important one. I think all of them
Oh,
act now.
do they?
Yeah,
There's 8 of them, I think.
there's so many. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I didn't know that he was the father. So, but he seems to be having fun.
He does. He seems like a really sweet man.
Yeah, he does.
Renny Harlin, who's the director of this movie, so this scene that you just described sets up this gigantic explosion,
Hmm.
and I feel like the best thing about a Renny Harlin movie are the explosions. He
Yeah.
blows shit up so good. And on one of the commentaries, they mentioned that they filmed that, like the setup, the whole scene we just discussed, they filmed that
Mm.
last because they actually blew up the set, which is incredible.
I love that.
So good. But
Oh
so
my God.
he did Long Kiss Goodnight, which is a movie that I really like.
Hmm.
And he is best known perhaps for Die Hard 2
Okay.
and Cliffhanger with Sylvester Stallone, which is
Oh, okay.
being rebooted with Lily James, um, and directed
Oh,
by Yom Colette Sarah of House of Wax and Orphan
fun.
fame. So that's one of my most anticipated movies. But um, there's a scene in Cliffhanger that is pretty much redone shot for shot in Deep Blue Sea.
Really?
Even Renny Harlin calls it his cliffhanger scene.
Yeah.
It's the scene where they're in that vertical tube and that poor blonde woman gets eaten by the shark.
Yeah.
That pretty much happens in Cliffhanger, except a poor woman falls off a mountain and dies instead of a shark's mouth.
Yeah.
But that scene in Cliffhanger was one of the most traumatic things I had ever seen as a child, because I had never seen a movie where like a purely innocent person died and no one could save them.
Yeah.
And it really shattered my worldview. I was like, I didn't think that was possible in this
Right.
world.
Yeah.
So Renny Harlin seems to have a reputation for being kind of sadistic and mean spirited in his movies. And
But
I think that makes it stand out. That makes him stand out as a director, whatever you might think about that.
hmm.
He is currently working on this much maligned 3-part Strangers project.
Yes. Did he direct all three?
So I am morbidly obsessed with this.
Yes.
They directed it as if it were one movie. So he did direct
Oh,
it. It was shot as if it was one movie. So, movies are shot out of sequence, but like they would sometimes shoot scenes from the third movie before shooting scenes from the first movie. Like they shot it as if it's one 4 and a
interesting.
half hour long
Yeah.
movie, and then it just kind of
Okay.
arbitrarily chopped it into 3. It's so bad.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's necessarily his fault. The script is
Mm.
really bad. Um, the lead actress, Madeline
Hesh.
Pesh,
Yeah.
she's great.
Yeah.
It's just the story and everything is so bad. There's a part in this part 2 where she gets attacked by basically a cartoon boar in the woods.
Oh
And
my
it's just like, why? It's really
God.
bad CG. It literally looks like a cartoon.
Yeah. Wow.
But there has not been an explosion yet. So there's a lot of fire in the posters for the third one. So
Okay.
I just want an explosion.
Yeah. Also, that's such a bummer he couldn't get the boar right when he got the shark so right in this.
It looks like the sharks sometimes look better than the boar.
Yeah. Yeah. That doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
So bad. But anyway, Renny Harlin, always been kind of a trash director of fine, purveyor of fine garbage, I would call
Oh,
him. And
our
I mean that
favorite
as a
kind.
high compliment. A high
Yes.
compliment. Hot
Yes.
trash. My favorite Pokemon is Trubbish. I love trash. So let's talk about the gothic elements of
Okay.
this film. We've rebranded. We used to talk about girls, guys, houses, and haunts, but
Mhm.
we've rebranded them for this
Mhm.
episode. We have a dreamer, a deceiver, a dungeon, and the damned.
The Damned.
So I would argue that our dreamer is pretty much like everyone else, but
Yes.
the scientist woman.
Yeah. And I think technically Stellan Skarsgård is aware and part of it.
That's
Yeah.
true. He falls into the deceiver category, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. Um, Science is the deceiver.
It
Scientific
is.
discovery. Yeah.
And actually, so let's jump right into that.
Okay.
So I thought this is a mad scientist movie. It's more
Yes.
akin to Frankenstein
Yeah.
than to like a typical gothic. And so I went to a website called thegothiclibrary.com, and they write about the trope of the mad scientist. as it relates to the Gothic. And they say mad scientists are mainly associated with science fiction and are popular as stock villains in superhero comics. But what many don't know is that this character trope has its roots in the Gothic. In fact, the villainization of science makes sense when you consider that the Gothic genre emerged as a reaction against the Enlightenment. While proponents of rationalism encouraged the pursuit of pure reason, many authors of the Gothic feared what such intellectualism might become when divorced from ethics and emotion. The character of the mad scientist is the embodiment of such anxieties, as we can see in several prominent works of Gothic literature.
Mm, that's a really beautiful take. I guess I've never heard it spoken that way about how the Gothic is this response to removing emotion from logic.
Mm-hmm.
That's really beautiful and very interesting.
And that is what this character does. The one played
Mm,
by Saffron Burrows. She's willing
yeah,
to sacrifice a few for the good of the many.
right. But it's also interesting because she does have an emotional reason. She has an emotional background
Mm,
because she talks about, I think it's her father or someone, um,
hmm
and how hard that was on her. But in a way, I guess maybe that excess of emotion has really stripped her of applying it to the science.
So the writer, he says that in his original script, there were two scientists, and not as in like Stellan Skarsgård and Susan,
Right.
but there was like a purely evil mad scientist, and then
Mm,
the woman was the good scientist, and she was
okay.
supposed to then have a romantic relationship with the Thomas Jane character. But
Yeah.
when the studio merged the two into one character,
Hmm.
audiences didn't like that. That she had this emotional arc with the Thomas Jane character because they didn't
Hmm.
like her, partly because of misogyny. Um,
Yes.
but I guess in one of the test screenings, someone literally wrote "kill the bitch."
Wow.
So audiences hated her. So she actually survived the original cut of
Yeah.
the movie, and so many test screenings hated it that they reshot the
Wow.
ending in which she's pretty much chomped unceremoniously and no one
Yeah.
cares.
Hers is another one that I had to rewind and double check that she actually died. Um,
Especially since they don't even react. Like they're just like, oh,
oh, well, okay. That was, 'cause
yeah.
it's kind of set up as this big heroic sacrifice, and then when it actually happens, yeah, Thomas Jane and LL Cool J are just kind of like, okay,
They're cracking
cool.
jokes on the
Yeah.
on the grate up above. Like, oh, better pull your foot out of the water. Those sharks might come back. Like,
You're just shooting the shit.
yes.
Yeah.
So so our dungeon is
Hmm.
this deep sea research facility.
Hmm.
Um, it was filmed at a former set for the movie Titanic.
Really?
So they built a very large site for underwater sets for
Okay.
Titanic. And so the tanks and everything in this big deep sea area remained. So that's
Wow.
where they filmed it. And it's this studio, this like deep sea studio is still there. It was
Really?
used as recently as an episode of 911, the Ryan Murphy show.
Oh my goodness. I have not watched 911. I want to though, because have you seen like the jokes about it? Like apparently they've gone to space now. They're like asteroids are hitting LA and they're like helping people. Like it's wild what 911 has become. So the fact that there is something that involves an underwater laboratory scene does not surprise me.
I really hope Angela Bassett was getting like pursued by a giant eel or something
Oh,
like underwater.
yes.
Like,
Yeah.
because I did see these ads. They must have been, I don't read magazines, but in my mind, it's like a magazine ad of Angela
Yeah.
Bassett like in a spacesuit, like
Yes.
floating. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? So it does
It's
seem like
wild.
it might be fun.
Yeah.
But this does fit into like this movie maybe because of its contemporary, reminds me the most of House on Haunted Hill,
Mm,
where there's this kind of remote location, these people are there, and then all hell breaks loose because of one person's bad decisions.
right. Yeah, I definitely see that. Um, the laboratory is definitely giving Frankenstein too. It's very um Frankensteiny, spooky, high tech though.
Hmm.
Like you said, the isolation is, I mean, this might be like the most isolated place we've talked about because like how the hell do you get to the middle of the ocean? And if you go in a helicopter, you could become a shark weapon.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have the setup where everyone leaves. They're like, oh, it's Saturday, so everyone goes home for the weekend.
Right. Yes. Yeah,
So they make it really isolated,
they
very
do.
arbitrarily.
Yeah.
And then the people conveniently show up, like they survive, I guess, as soon as the commuters are coming in on the boat Monday morning because they
Yes.
immediately get rescued.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's very convenient timing, but
It
as it happens,
works.
as it
Yeah,
happens. Yeah.
it works.
Yeah.
I learned from one of the commentaries that I didn't realize how much. I don't know if it still happens this way or if this was more of like the studio system, but just as the set from Titanic was recycled for this movie or like the studio, a lot of like props and even
Mm,
footage from this movie are in other movies.
really?
So they would have props the in Sphere, Michael Crichton's Sphere with Sharon Stone,
Okay.
The Perfect Storm. I think that's the George Clooney
Oh,
like boat movie.
yep.
Um, 6 Days, 7 Nights, which was a Harrison Ford and H romantic comedy adventure film.
Oh,
Um, and then of all things, and I hadn't looked up a clip, but there is a Pixar short, Toy Story Hawaiian Vacation, that inserts a clip of the shark eating the parrot from Deep Blue Sea.
stop it.
That's what the writer on the commentary says.
That is wild. I have to watch this.
I guess the toys are watching like a Shark Week on
Okay.
TV and they use this clip from Deep Blue Sea.
It is so funny. Oh my God.
So the movie lives.
Yes, as it should. Wow.
And then our damned are the
Hmm.
sharks. These
Yes.
poor genetically engineered victims. They're the
Yes.
victims too.
Yeah. I did when I started watching like the first scene with the sharks that is like being sort of tested on having something extracted from its brain. I I had to Google. I said, did they use real sharks for this? It's they're unfortunately they do use a lot of CGI sharks. They don't look that bad. They actually look pretty good. But the what's the word? Not prosthetic. Um
Animatronic?
the animatronic sharks that they use are so good.
They're great.
Like so so good. I definitely wish we got to see a little bit more of them. Um they're so good though. I've been, and I don't know if you agree, I'm interested to know. Um, Sharks have never really done it for me in terms of horror, and I think a big part of it is just I don't go that deep into the ocean.
Yep.
I just go on land. Um,
Yep.
they definitely, I think this movie definitely, I was scared of the sharks in the movie because two, there really is no safe place. The water is rising and rising, and obviously they can friggin' they're like learning how to crash open doors and shit. So, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it really is like no safe place. But what's like your relationship? Are you like afraid of sharks? Yeah.
No, I didn't I grew up pretty like landlocked, so I
Hmm.
don't think I went in the ocean until I was almost 30 years old.
Mm,
Um and I'm pretty fool. I will be the first one devoured by a shark because
yeah.
I'm maybe naively so not scared. Like I don't go to the beach as much anymore, but when I used to, I would look around and be like, I am the furthest one out, so I'm going to be the first to get chomped if it
Yes.
happens.
Yeah.
But I don't find Jaws particularly scary or interesting
No.
as a
Yeah.
movie. And then I don't even know if this works because then there's the ridiculous genre of shark movies like Sharknado and those.
Mm,
I have not seen a second of any of those.
yes. Yeah, I think sharks are very entertaining, but yeah, not necessarily scary. My brother, actually, growing up and still to this day, is extremely scared of sharks. He will not get in the ocean at all. And part of the reason, I don't think I've ever shared, I don't know why I ever would have shared this on the podcast. We went to Hawaii actually when we were younger, and my mom made the mistake of scheduling our vacation the same week as Shark Week. And so whenever we would have a free time in the hotel room, we would watch Shark Week. And I don't remember exactly what my mom said, but she came out. We were all on the beach. She's out, she's swimming, um, having a good time. And I think she yelled something like, "Come on in, Mark, the water is great." And he just went, "What?" And really thought there was a shark in the water.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
anyways, needless to say,
Poor baby.
I was not as scared. I was still a little scared because I was the little sister, so I believed everything he did. Um, but he is still to this day extremely, extremely terrified of sharks. He like does not like going into the water at the beach. Um, Massachusetts surprisingly has a lot of sharks off of especially the Cape. Um,
Yeah.
so he will not play with that at all. Um, so I mean there are people who definitely this works for them.
Oh, for sure. I feel like there's still people of a certain age who like saw Jaws and never went in the ocean. Um,
There's a house in the city I just moved to that has a huge, in Jaws, the sign that says like Amity welcomes you, and then I think later in the movie they like graffiti it to have it look like a shark. They have a huge one of those outside of their house.
oh,
I don't know why.
oh,
I feel like I
yeah.
should pull over and ask them,
Yeah.
but
Is there any, do they have other movie paraphernalia or just they really
that
like
one
that
and
sign?
the city I live in now is landlocked. It's
Yeah.
actually further from the ocean than I lived before. I don't know why.
Yeah. It's pretty far.
Yeah. So, anyways, I don't know. But yeah, Jaws definitely has had a lasting effect on people.
Have you seen the Blake Lively shark movie, The Shallows?
No.
Also directed by Yom Colette-Serra of
Uh,
soon to be Cliffhanger fame, Orphan,
Yep.
House of Wax, my favorite director.
Mhm.
That one, I love that movie. That movie is so good. It's
Really?
very tense, very freaky,
Uh-huh.
very disgusting. For a
Yeah.
PG-13 movie, it is repulsive.
Really?
Highly recommend it. It's definitely more in the Jaws vein and that it's like quote unquote realistic
Okay.
shark trauma. But then I also recommend Under Paris. Did you watch that?
Oh, did that come out like last year or the year before? I feel
Two
like people were
years
talking
ago.
about it a lot. It was French, right? Or it is
It's a
French.
French movie.
I
Um,
haven't though, no.
I would call it the spiritual successor to Deep Blue Sea. Um,
Really?
it's a treat. So it takes place in Paris as they're preparing for the 2024 Summer Olympics. And Berenice Bejo, this beautiful French actress,
Hmm.
is I don't know why. I don't remember the details, and it doesn't matter. There's a mutant shark for whatever reason. I don't know why it's a
Incredible.
mutant or what. But she's trying to warn everyone that this mutant shark is coming. And they're like, we're preparing for the Olympics. Like, we can't do anything about it. And just like Deep Blue Sea, cartoonish hell breaks loose as these
Oh,
fucking mutant sharks like invade Paris. And it's
incredible.
very much like this because they end up being smart.
Hmm.
The fear of Deep Blue Sea is what if they escape, and then like
Mm,
reach
yes.
land and start tormenting people. This is like it's like if a shark from Deep Blue Sea escaped and went to Paris like
Fun.
20 years later. It really
Okay.
could be like a sequel. I highly recommend it. It's a blast.
Oh, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, and allegedly they're working on a sequel. I won't spoil the ending, but I don't know how.
Okay, interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. Um, the only other shark movie I'm familiar with is The Meg, and I guess that barely
Oh,
counts as a shark movie. I wanted to love that movie so much. I love Jason Statham. I think he's really fun. I hated it. I thought it took itself way too seriously. Um, I think if it had just had like 10% more like fun and humor, it would have been at least a good movie. I heard the
Yeah.
second one is more fun. But I don't even want to bother giving it a try. Um, but yeah, I mean, I do really like the concept of shark movies because they can be scary. And in this movie, they're very, you know, we've said it like 100 times, like it's very tense. Um,
Mm-hmm.
especially because they're so powerful. I mean, and that's why I said, like, if I was in LL Cool J's shoes, I probably would have just let myself die because, like, oh my
Yes.
God, how do you even begin fighting something like that?
Right. And they're
Yeah,
huge. They're
they're
like
huge.
bigger than normal sharks. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Super sharks.
yeah. Really cool though. And I will say, I really liked the scene of Thomas Jane, in sort of like he has sort of these like tunnels that he swims through to like I think feed them. And I was like, ooh, there's a part of me that would like love to do that. Like swim with some sharks in a tunnel.
It's like a
It
big
doesn't end very
cage.
well
Yeah.
for him, but like, oh, I kind of want to.
I would never do that. That scares me.
Yeah, yeah. I do think sharks are really cool, like in concept. Um, I mean, they're dinosaurs.
Are they, bet they've been around that long?
They're like, yeah, I think so.
I believe it. They have so many
Yeah,
teeth.
they do. A lot of teeth.
Well, sharks have a lot of teeth, but is this movie gothic? Now that we have our new branding of our dreamer, our deceiver, our dungeon, and the damned.
Yes.
Is it gothic enough to be gothic, gothish, or no gothic?
I coming into this was thinking either not gothic or gothish, but I think especially with the Frankenstein um comparison, I'm inclined to give it a gothic. It kind of
I
is
don't
a
know. I don't know what it is because we actually didn't think we didn't deem Frankenstein itself gothic,
we did.
but I don't think we did. That might have been me, but I I I do think I don't know if it's also to just our reframing of our
Mm,
characteristics, and maybe if we revisited Frankenstein with these new modern characteristics that we have, maybe I
yes.
would change my mind. But I think with the new way in which we're framing things, that
Mm,
it is very gothic because it is just a
so
classic mad scientist horror, except instead of on a mountaintop castle, it's a deep
yeah,
sea research facility.
right. Did we give Frankenstein not gothic?
I think we did. Um,
Fuck are we on?
I think that was some shenanigans on my part. I think I really was like pushing for it not to be gothic.
It's funny.
Um, yeah,
Um,
I need to keep a log of what we actually say, but
yeah, 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 yeah. I know. I actually maybe that's what I'll do later is I'll make a spreadsheet of everything. Um,
that would be
that might
fun.
be a good idea. But yeah, I like the comparison of it to Frankenstein. I would love to do like it's actually funny. I pulled out some DVDs the other night to have like a Frankenstein night. I was gonna watch Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and then um what's the funny one?
Young Frankenstein?
Young Frankenstein. So I had like those two DVDs out and I was gonna have a Frankenstein night. Didn't get around to it. But maybe now I'll do those two and Deep Blue Sea. I'll throw that on there. Little
Yeah,
Frankenstein party.
I think it really does fit in quite well.
Yeah, yeah. That's really funny.
Well, excellent. Are there any memorable scenes we didn't discuss that you wanted to talk about?
I feel like we went over a lot of them. Um, yeah, I mean, I think just Stellan Skarsgård getting used as a battering ram is cinematic history. I think it's beautiful, incredible, wonderful. I think pretty
They
much
should
every, sorry, go
they should
ahead.
show a clip of that in his reel at the Oscars, like of his career.
They really should. Oh
Hmm.
my God. Yeah, I really enjoyed all of the scenes with LL Cool J. I kind of talked about it, but like specifically when he's fighting the shark and he takes cover in an oven and then the shark turns the oven on.
So
I
good, brilliant.
I literally I was like like that was the moment where I was like, okay, well I would just die. I would just die. But
Mm-hmm.
I think he has like an axe or something, and he freaking hammers through to the one above it. Freaking wild,
Yes.
wild. Like I said, this man has the most incredible will to live.
Yep.
Yeah, so that is so good.
That was this one scene I was going to mention. Yeah, that
Oh, was
scene
it?
is probably my second favorite scene in the movie.
Yeah, yeah, it's so good. And then, yeah, because he blows up the shark with the gas from the oven. So he really takes a problem and makes it a solution.
He does. You're right. It's a really
Yeah,
good way to frame it. Yeah.
right. This is an inspirational movie.
It's inspirational. It's very Christian. We pray
Yes,
to God and we are saved.
it is.
Hmm.
So true.
Amen.
Yes. Hallelujah.
They should have Deep Blue Sea at like church movie nights.
Yeah, like instead of Veggie Tales, just Reaching Blue Sea.
We're gonna do a double feature of Passion of the Christ and Deep Blue Sea on Easter Sunday. Maybe Deep Blue Sea will be my new like Easter watch. Like I'll watch it every Easter.
Hey, Lent is starting, you know?
Yeah, now's the
Yeah.
time.
Right? And what is more Lenten than, you know, surrounding yourself with fish?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So really quite this movie's very Christian.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Praise be. Oh my goodness. Well, that was really fun. Do you
Yes.
have any favorites going on in your personal life that you would like to talk about?
Not particularly favorites, but I did watch another documentary. I've been on a
Hmm.
documentary kick, but I am teaching a class on social media at my local community college, and I watched a documentary called The YouTube Effect
Mm.
on Canopy library streaming service, available perhaps from your local library with a library card. And it's just it's kind of like a history of YouTube, and then the myriad of effects, mostly negative, that YouTube has had on society as a whole, from its tendency for people to develop parasocial relationships to becoming radicalized,
Mm.
um, to creators experiencing burnout from being held to the whims of the algorithm. um I feel like, if you just let YouTube autoplay enough, like, you will believe in QAnon eventually.
Yeah.
Like you'll just end up there. And but so it's a really good movie. It's available for free on Canopy. It's only 90 minutes. Weirdly directed by the guy who is not Keanu Reeves in Bill and Ted, Alex Winter.
Really
Yes.
interesting.
It said directed by Alex Winter, and I thought, really? And I clicked on it, and I saw his face, and I was like, really? And then I went to the Wikipedia page, and his name was not hyperlinked, and I'm like, okay, this is just someone else named Alex Winter. And
Right.
again, Google, the algorithm gets confused because they have the same name.
Yes.
But at one point in the documentary, they they show him, they show his face. So I was really shocked that I didn't know what he's
Interesting.
been doing, but he's a very interesting individual. I feel like this is like I guess I have two sort of recommendations. I also recently, 3 or 4 months ago, imported from Australia the 4K version of Freaked, which is a
Mm.
movie from 1994 written by and starring Alex Winter. And that movie is way ahead of its time, and deranged, delightful brilliance. So he's a very interesting man, for someone who's known for playing a dumbass on film.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Wow. Well, thank you for that recommendation. One of my coworkers was reading a book that came out recently. I think so. Do you know if this documentary had like a book tie-in? Because it sounds really familiar.
Maybe it's fairly recent. I think it was
Okay.
2022 or 2023.
Um, Maybe it was just a different book on YouTube, but it's funny because yeah, they were talking about kind of the same concepts of um Yeah, I can't find a book with that name, so it must have been a different book about YouTube. But I think it tackled a lot of the same concepts, especially regarding the algorithm. Um, because yeah, that is absolutely something to be very cognizant of right now. I'm a big YouTube user. It's actually YouTube Premium is one of the only subscription services I pay for.
Good
But
one.
yeah, you really have to be careful. This isn't necessarily bad, but I could potentially see it going bad in terms of the channel it from it is on. But if I fall asleep, and I usually watch either like creepy stories or Sims builds to fall asleep. Um, those knock me out. I don't know why. But if I don't put on my sleep timer, a lot of times I wake up and I'm watching the 24-hour live, like quote unquote live feeds of River Monsters, the Discovery Channel
What?
show. Yeah,
What?
I don't know why they bring me there. Like I
Wow.
hate the Discovery Channel. I have like a real beef with the Discovery Channel because they are also, I think, huge propagandists of conspiracy theories now. And so I could
Mm,
see it going down that road. Like if I was someone who
yeah.
already didn't hate Discovery Channel, then you start watching the Ancient Aliens, and then you start going down those avenues.
Yep.
Um, so there's definitely an algorithm reason.
Yeah, it's frightening out there
Mhm.
on the web.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting though. Do you know if he's directed any other movies or
He directed another documentary in 2015 about Silk Road, the dark web. I don't know if you call it a
oh
website, and like
yeah,
Bitcoin and the guy who was founding that.
right.
Um, so that is now on my watch list.
Interesting. I need
Seems
to
he
put
has
this on my
it
radar.
seems he has a movie on the Panama Papers.
Oh, okay. I forgot about those.
Yeah. He has a documentary about Frank Zappa.
Oh.
So he's a pretty prolific documentarian, actually. Okay. Well, thank you, Amanda, and thank you, Ghosties, for listening to us break down Deep Blue Sea. Please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. You can rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and share us with a friend. Until next time, stay ghosty. Bye bye.